Oh, guys, welcome in. Welcome in and welcome into the stream. Very excited. We have a lot to get to. We have obviously NLCS Game 3 coming up. We have Thursday Night Football. We got Game 4 of the ALCS a couple hours, about 2 hours after this Dodgers-Brewers game starts. What's going on, losing streak? How are you, my friend? Was just basically trying to hang a towel right now up on this one window because I have some, as you guys can see, this time of the year I have some, basically some of the shade coming in, some of the sunshine peeking through the window, just trying to block some of it, and that's why I was a minute late to the stream. But for the next hour, guys, we have a lot going on. We're going to put together some SGP bets, look to see if we can find some value. We're going to start off with DFS. We're going to look to live bet the Dodgers and the Brewers game right now. We're just going to wait until the first inning kind of goes through top and bottom first. Then we'll play some bets. Have a lot of exciting things to kind of get through. So let's start off with DGF AI Slip Generator. What's going on, Trent? How are you, my friend? Let me move myself up here in the corner. There we go. All right, perfect. And let's kind of reset the filters and let's see what we have cooking here at the moment. Let's kind of go by book, I guess. We'll start with better. Not much at the moment, guys. We also have a lot of NHL games going on tonight. In the NHL, I've been cooking to start the NHL season. It's been a very fast and furious, profitable start for myself. Betting the NHL. We'll look for some anytime goal scorers. No doubt about that. Been starting to mess around with the player shots market as well, which has proven to be profitable. So as you guys kind of filter in, this is, again, an under 2% edge. It's okay. It's not ideal, but it's all right. My Steelers are playing today, guys, on Thursday Night Football in Cincinnati. So representing the 4-1-2. Very excited for that game. No Trey Hendrickson tonight for the Bengals. So I expect the Steelers to have a pretty easy time running the football on Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense doesn't really scare me or really, I think, anyone in the league. So I expect that, the Steelers might not come out firing all cylinders, but I don't think they're going to have a hard time running the football. So it's a 5-pick slip. This is a little bit too low for me, guys, so I'm not going to mess around with it, but I wanted to showcase it. For my Dabble folks, this is a 3-pick entry over here in Dabble. Again, it's under 2% EV edge, but if you wanted to, you could take this. What's going on, Garrett? So as you guys are kind of filtering in, excited for what's about to commence, as I got the baseball game up here on my TV. Again, once we get that first inning over and done with, be ready to kind of go. Can the Brewers get back into this series, or is it going to be the Dodgers? What a game last night, by the way, with the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Pretty crazy game, no doubt about that. A lot of runs scored. Blue Jays take one on the road. Nothing going on Fliff at the moment. Let's take a look at PrizePicks, okay? Today and tomorrow, the final 2 days of the NBA preseason, and then next Tuesday. And specifically next Wednesday. The NBA regular season is here, guys, and it's going to be insane. 3-pick slip over here on PrizePicks. If you wanted to rock this, again, I am anti-NBA preseason, not messing around with it. Do we have anything on here that's not NBA preseason? A lot of this is NBA preseason, like Steph Curry. These are going to be for Tuesday, guys, with Curry and Hartenstein. So this is one that we could cook up over here on PrizePicks if we wanted to. I'm going to look at a 3-pick slip to see if we can find anything that's of 3-pick value. Doesn't seem to be the case, but this is a 5-pick slip here. If you guys wanted to rock this instead of that 6-pick entry, we could take this as a 5-pick. So kind of your choice. I've been staying away from playing 5- and 6-pick entries for the most part, but if you wanted to, I'll kind of pause here and let you guys take a look at this. So something that I'm very excited to kind of announce, guys. I've mentioned before in the past how I offer various different one-on-one coaching programs that you can work with me one-on-one. But I'm very excited to announce that I have created a group coaching call. So this is a group coaching class that's going to last for 3 months. We are going to have one call every 2 weeks. So there's 6 calls in total that you can be a part of, where it's a group classroom setting where you're going to be able to ask me questions. We're going to really break down profitable betting and what I specifically look for. It's a fast pass to get to the front of the line to learn exactly what I'm trying to teach and show, not just with profitable betting, but also with multi-accounting, with offshore sports books and how we handle those. Things that maybe I cannot speak about or talk about on streams or on YouTube. In this kind of group class setting, you're going to be able to ask me questions and we can really dive into that. So it's 3 months long, one call every 2 weeks. First call is going to be on October 29th. It's 1 hour for each call. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the link here in the chat. If you guys want to take a look at that, it's going to be available as a kind of a different coaching call. So if you don't want to, working with me one-on-one, this is more of a group class setting, but I'll throw this in here right now. First call starts on October 29th, a Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And it's going to be once every 2 weeks we will meet for 6 calls. These calls are recorded. And then you are going to, be able to have my email so that we can kind of chat back and forth and discuss different strategies and discuss your setup as well so that we can make sure that we find value for you. But if you guys want to sign up for that, it's now live and set up, ready to go. Once you sign up for it, I will then go ahead and send you the rest of the links to the rest of the coaching dates, and that you'll have everything kind of ready to go. But if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and check out that link. Any questions, obviously reach out. Don't hesitate to ask. So, looking over here at Underdog, 6-pick entry with insurance. Okay. Again, these are some NBA players, but these NBA games, at least for this play, this one for Ayton and Bazelis, this is going to be for the regular season. You guys are going to start to notice that NBA regular season lines are going to start to open up from now until the weekend. We're going to start to see the Tuesday and Wednesday games quite a bit. Anton, what's going on? Don, what's going on, brother? How are you? Oh, Steven. Sorry, Steve, what's going on, brother? Steven, if he doesn't mind, Steven can attest. He is, we had a call earlier this week, coaching-wise, and he gave me a lot of really good feedback. So I think if you guys want to know about like the coaching program, Steve is one individual here in the chat that's went through it and talking to me. So open up more of a group class setting, guys. That's going to be a little bit more affordable than working with me one-on-one. And wanted to offer kind of a lower tier price option for those of you that want to still kind of get into my head and as we break down specific plays and really talk about what I look for. But happy to have you guys filter in. Really excited. Looks like first pitch is underway. Glasnow's on the bump against Churio, Game 3 NLCS. I'm hoping that the Brewers can make this a series. As you know, guys, I'm always trying to make more money and have more betting profitable opportunities. The only way that happens is if these series go 6-7 games. So I'm not against, if my girlfriend's listening, she's not going to be happy with what I'm about to say, but wouldn't mind seeing Milwaukee try to get back into the series just so that I could have more opportunities to place some bets. All right, let's head over to the optimizer here with OddsJam, and let's start off with some DraftKings pick 6. Man, what a sharp hit ball down the third. Muncy scoops that up. Nice play by Muncy playing the hot corner there. So we're looking over here at 3-pick entries. Okay. And again, if you guys want to focus on league and if you want to just focus on, NFL for today, you can do that. We can just set this up this way. Right now, it's just Spencer Rattler on his passing attempts. I don't like this play because I would go just bet this over on FanDuel if I was going to bet his over. It seems like I'm getting a better price on FanDuel than I am on DraftKings pick 6. So yeah, SEC. So by the way, that's a good question. You guys don't have to have OddsJam for these calls, right? This isn't just OddsJam specific. This is just for helping you make money as a sports bettor. So it obviously helps if you have OddsJam, but you don't have to have OddsJam, right? We can still go through markets. It's all the same rules apply. Guys, if you use a competitor of OddsJam or if you use other ones out there, there's a lot of Discord groups and tools. We're just going to be talking about examples and markets that I like to go after, odds ranges, what we like to focus on. It's mostly going to be positive EV betting pre-match and live. We will talk about some arbitrage, best practices and setups that you want to focus on, but it's going to be very positive EV focused with some DFS also sprinkled in there. But no, you don't have to have OddsJam in order to gain any value from these coaching calls. The idea here is that I don't want you to have to keep coming back to me after these coaching calls. You get what you need from me, and then you don't ever have to come back to me. And then you can just apply this to any software, anywhere. Does not matter. So that's kind of the idea behind it. We're going to be using OddsJam software to break down the examples, but you don't have to have OddsJam. Not at all. Parlay play. It's a very good question, though, SEC. No doubt about that. Anna Gross says, let's go Dodgers. Dodgers. Yeah, no doubt about that. Obviously, as everyone knows, for the last 3 weeks, I've been a lifelong Dodgers fan. So we love the Dodgers. Contreras up with 2 outs and a 1-1 count. And Glasnow was humming along. As you guys know, I really prefer to bet unders when it comes to playoff baseball. Just going to wait for this top and bottom first inning to kind of get past, and then we can see if we can look for some value on the first half unders and things of that nature. If you guys are just filtering in kind of the big announcement, we're going to look at the arbitrage tool right now, is that I have now offered a group coaching class that is now offered for you guys. It's linked in the chat here. If you want to check it out, I'll drop it in the link again, where the first call is going to be October 29th. What's going on, Dr. Slips? And this is going to be a group coaching call where we have one call every 2 weeks. It's 3 months long, so there's 6 calls total. Each call is 1 hour long. And this is where you can interact with me, ask me questions. It's going to be more of a smaller setting, right? It's not going to be maybe as many people are on the chat. It's going to be a smaller setting where we can work and talk to you individually and make sure that I try to give everyone in the class some individual time so we can talk about your situation, what you want to focus on, what you want to learn. There's going to be a lot that we can kind of dive into this. And again, the idea here is that we're going to focus on teaching you profitable ways and what I specifically look for, but also things that maybe I can and cannot say on YouTube videos or in streams. We can dive into that in these coaching calls. You're going to have the links. You're going to be able to keep these videos so that you can go back and watch them down the road. So if you don't remember something, or we talk about a sport that maybe right now we start talking about Major League Baseball and you're like, I don't care because it's fall. Well, you can go back and save this and watch it back come springtime when we do get into Major League Baseball. We're looking at arbitrage, guys. Again, this is a fairly simple strategy. We're day trading the sports books. If you have ProfitX, there's only $19 here in this Rockets-Hawks game. I don't know how much I'd really want to go after this because ProfitX, there's just not much going on. Looks like the Brewers will not be getting no hit tonight as Yelich is on board with Contreras. So there we go. But this is where the plus odds number is bigger than the minus odds number. You can day trade these books. So 252 is larger than 210. If 252 has the plus sign, then that's a good thing. We can make some money here. But what else could we maybe day trade today? A couple of things. Let's see. Again, though, with Luis Castillo here with Sportzino, you can see there's $226 available on this play. I would run over to ProfitX first to grab this play because that's not a lot of liquidity out there. And again, if this liquidity dries up and there's no money left, then the arb's not there. Little different story, though, if this is, I don't know, maybe Bet Rivers and Hard Rock. You can day trade these books here between Bet Rivers and Hard Rock or Desert Diamond or Ballybet. They're all the same because they all use the same odds provider. These books have, they're the house, so they're going to have liquidity available for you to place bets on the over and the under. This game starts in about 2 hours, so this is definitely not a bad, it's a good arb if you want to go after it. And so what we can do is kind of walk through an example of how I would do this. The first thing that we want to focus on, guys, and this is kind of a little bit of a glimpse, guys, of like the coaching calls and what we get into. The first thing that we want to do is obviously you want to be already logged into the sports books. That's kind of the first thing that you want to do. The second thing that you want to do is, we're placing this bet 2 hours away from first pitch, so that it isn't all that crazy of a play that we're going after right now. Okay. Now I'm going to go after this Ballybet Hard Rock play for Castillo. The next thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we can find a bet size here where the wagers end in zeros and in fives. There's no way that I'm going to bet, $90.19 or really $63. So my goal here is to play around with this calculator and try to get equal amounts down. So like $60 here, $85, right? I could round up to 86, but I'd rather keep it at 85 because who in the hell bets $86? Right? Let's keep this in like zeros and in fives. Okay. And then what we're just going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to grab these plays right now. So I'm logged in. I'm going to go over to each side. We could use the dual betting feature here, guys, if we wanted to. I'm a little old school when it comes to this. I don't mind going after this and just grabbing this play. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to pull this up on both sports books. I'm going to double check the odds. We're going to bet $85 on one side and $60 on the other. I'm going to execute this arb in front of you so you guys can see that I actually put my money where my mouth is and that this is actually possible. Okay. So Luis Castillo, we're going to bet $85 over here on the over. Make sure I can get this first. Can we get this? We can. Great. 85, and then we're going to go ahead and bet $60 over here on the under. Okay, there we go. So let's kind of break down what just happened. We locked in an arb here, okay? Didn't maybe put a bunch down, but we got something. We're in for $145 on the over and the under. We don't know which side is going to win and which side is going to lose. So if the wager wins on Hard Rock, we're receiving a total payout of $150 minus our $145 investment. We make $5 in profit. If the wager wins over here on Ballybet, then we have a total investment of $145. Our total payout is $148.75. So we make $3.75. So I made $3.75 or $5, and I don't care what happens in this game. It doesn't matter. I don't have to sweat the bet. I don't have to worry about emotional swings, right? We're good to go. So we just made some risk-free money, and obviously if I wanted to wager more, I could have made more. Between these two sports books, just day trading the books. That's it. I changed this to 85, track this in the bet tracker. Bingo. That took what? I don't know, 60 seconds to do. And now we can rinse and repeat and go back and do this again. So there's an arbitrage example of how we can make risk-free money day trading the books using OddsJam software. If you want to try OddsJam 1 week for free, use code Billy35 and you'll save 35% off your first month after the 1 week trial ends. All right, let's look at the Sharp Money tool. Let's take a look at the Sharp Money tool and see what we got. Patrick, you've asked this question before, bro. It's a pretty simple setup, right? Pick your sports books. I'll answer this one again for you. And if you forget this, Patrick, make sure to bookmark this part of the stream so that you can go back to this and watch it again. It's a very simple setup. Pick the sports books that you have accounts with. I do not set up anything for minimum maximum odds. I do not set up anything for minimum. Okay, your minimum ROI, I cannot answer that for you. You have to figure out on your own, what's it worth to you? Is it a 2% ARB, a 1% ARB, a 5% ARB? What's worth your time and your money? Pre-match, though, I do like to set a maximum of 10%. And then the DVIG settings, you can use OddsJam's recommended book weights. I like to use Pinnacle. And then the only thing is I just set the markets for main markets and player props. I don't do alternate markets. Date range can be for today. You can set this for the next 7 days. I'm kind of focused more on plays for today, and that's it. That's really it. So if you forget this, make sure to remember this stream and this minute mark here. It's around the 15 to 17 minute mark of the live stream. And so that you can go back to this time and time again to watch the arbitrage filter setup, because this isn't the first time you've asked. So let's go look at the Sharp Money tool. And again, guys, with the Sharp Money tool, it kind of depends on a lot of things. There's a lot of factors at play here, right? We're looking at liquidity. We're looking at, limits from sports books. Multipliers is a very important thing when we're looking at the Sharp Money tool. So on this Jets money line play, some of these plays, guys, on their own are positive EV. Some of them are. Some of them aren't, right? But the fundamental belief here with this strategy is that there is someone out there that isn't interested in wagering $100 or $200 or, $500 on FanDuel. They're trying to get down $10, $20, $30, $50,000. So as you can see, someone on ProfitX really wants you to bet on the Panthers at minus 109, meaning they want the Jets at plus 109 odds. Someone down here for $5,000 wants this, same thing. Now, at this given time of the day on a Thursday, Pinnacle's only taking $10K on the money line. But as we get towards Sunday on kickoff, there's going to be probably $100,000. Oh, Ohtani ropes one down the corner. That's going to be 2 bases. Is it going to be 3? Churio bobbles it. Ohtani going to third. The big man. Dodgers have a runner at third. Nobody out. Again, it's kind of why I like to wait until the first inning ends, because sometimes some crazy things happen. So I already have a bet on the Jets at minus 1.5. Looks like over at Kalshi. Closing line value is working against me just a little bit. But what you want to do here is the idea is that there is a combined, $13,000. If you add in this minus 110, there's $15,000 out here. You would want to bet the Jets money line over on DraftKings because it seems to be a good play. Anything that's 8 cents of a difference or larger between the sharp books and the rec book, I typically like. Mookie Betts pokes one in the gap as well. That's going to be 2 bases. Maybe not. Maybe it's a single. Oh, he's going in for 2. Dodgers are cooking. Up 1-0 already in the first inning. Ho, ho, ho. As a lifelong Dodgers fan, it just feels so good to see this team finally win. It's been a long time I've been waiting for this team to win. They just don't win enough. It's nice to see them finally win. Wink, wink. Okay, nice to see that. Nice to see that. Okay, so that would be a play I'd go after. But this Steelers play on the point spread, I'm not going to bet this. I'm not going to listen to the Sharp Money tool. Neither of these plays. Texans, Seahawks, I'm not taking this. Pinnacle's taking $20,000. There's only $5,000 out here. This is dumb. Like, I'm not going to listen to the sharp money tool tell me this is a great play to take when Pinnacle's taken 4 times the amount of money. So I'm going to pay attention to Pinnacle's line for the Seahawks and the Texans and say, yeah, I think this is a good play. Now, if there was $50,000 out here on this Texans plus 3.5, okay, different story. Now you have my attention. But none of these plays that I'm looking at right here, they're all garbage. All these are garbage from like a sharp money perspective. They're all trash. So I'm not going to bet them. Let's take a look at some player props. And this is set up for the next 7 days, mind you guys, just so you know. Okay, let's look at player props. I think for the NBA this year, this is going to be a very sound strategy to use every single day when betting player props. The sharp money tool is going to be something I'm definitely going to lean into for player props. You know, certain player props, guys, on like DraftKings and FanDuel, you might be only able to bet $500, maybe $1,000. If I'm a professional sports bettor that can beat NBA player props and I'm trying to get down $5,000, $10,000, $30,000, then this is where the sharp money tool is going to be very helpful. Losing streak, no doubt about that. Yeah, no, I mean, well, you know, my girlfriend's probably watching right now, so like, you know, I can't. Definitely not going to be rocking the Diamondbacks gear. Unless the Diamondbacks make it to the World Series next year, then, well, we don't know. We'll have to wait till next year. But this year, 2025, let's go Dodgers. Dodgers all the way. 3-0 count on Will Smith, runner at second. Nobody out. Ashby is in a world of trouble right now. He needs to somehow get out of this inning, only giving up this 1 run. And then we're going to take a peek at live betting this game for sure. Go. McPherson's going to go over today simply because of the last 5 all red method. Well, I mean, I appreciate that, brother. What about the last 10 or the last 20? Right? I don't really buy into the last 5 trends method. You could see, you know, I sounded like an idiot probably like a year ago or so when I was talking a little bit about trends. I don't always really believe in trends as much, but I appreciate that. The sharp money play. So here would be one, Shane Gostisbehere. Now, in general, Hard Rock is a joke of a sports book. Very easy sports book to beat. So when I'm looking at this play, this is 16 cents off the Pinnacle, which is okay. But ideally, with a lot of player props, guys, when it comes to NHL, like player shots on goal, we can't wager a lot of money in this market. Okay. But someone has put up, you know, what is this? 7-8 times the amount that Pinnacle's taking the limits on here. So, and it's all one lump sum. Someone wants Gostisbehere over 1.5 or under 1.5 shots at plus 117. And so we can get this at plus 120. So I like this. I like the Gostisbehere play. Am I still logged into Hard Rock or no? I don't think so. I'll say I do like this a lot, right? So these NHL player props, this is where I'm interested. Forsling on his shots on goal. I think I'm on the opposite side of this. I got his what? His over 1.5 at minus 115. Oh, never mind. I already bet his over 1.5 earlier today. So I'm already on this play at the same exact odds. So this would be a play that we can get into. Now, obviously, compared to Pinnacle, this is only 10 cents. So this play right here leans more into the sharp money method, which is there's $1,600 out there for someone to bet on him, and Pinnacle's taking $250, right? Same with Wan'Dale Robinson. Over, under on his catches. There's a lot of money out there for him to bet the under. And at this point, current point of the time of the week, there's only $250 Pinnacle's taking. So one thing that I definitely want to make sure that we focus on, guys, is FanDuel. FanDuel's offering, again, like their $1 million bonus bet giveaway for anytime touchdown score. So I'm going to log into my FanDuel account and talk about this and take a look at this. One other thing, guys, that I will mention to you guys is this. Something else. Okay, I told this to my friends, and just want to mention this to you guys. On Sunday, the Dolphins travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The weather in Cleveland is supposed to be absolutely horrible. 85% chance of rain and extremely high winds. Very high winds. So, anytime that the winds are over 15 miles an hour or more, it significantly impacts the passing game. Significantly. This is not a positive EV recommendation based off of the rest of the sports books and the odds. But I have a very heavy belief that this under is free money in the Dolphins-Browns game. As you can see right now, there's 15 to 25 mile an hour winds during the day. We're right on that cusp. 87% chance of rain. So if nothing else, guys, I would maybe bet some overs on Quinshon Judkins, maybe on his rushing yards or rushing attempts. But I really like betting this under on the Dolphins-Browns game because the weather is going to be horrible. Things can change. It's a Thursday, but it's not necessarily plus EV from a sportsbook standpoint, but I think it's a very EV bet to bet the under on the Cleveland game. I'm a big fan of that play. Yeah, Rama, I saw that. Underdog don't. Yeah, we showcased. We spent about the first 15 minutes of the stream going through some underdog plays. We'll come back a little bit later. It was still a lot of NBA preseason. So not a ton at the moment, but we'll come back and take a look. We always start the first 10 to 15 minutes of the stream off with DFS. So if you're just arriving now and you're not seeing it, that's because we already went over it. All right, so we got FanDuel. I'm going to log into FanDuel. FanDuel's got a boost going on. I'm sure there's a boost going on. I know Hard Rock has a boost. I know that DraftKings most likely has a boost as well. I got very lucky last night on a degenerate parlay. Hit for like $225 on DraftKings. Shout out to Cal Raleigh. Big dumper. I love you, bro. You're the best. You're the best. That home run helped me out a lot. So make sure you guys go into FanDuel and claim everything. Okay, make sure you're over here and you claim these different boosts. This is a profit boost. Any bet for the Steelers. And then we also have, the touchdown boost? The touchdown jackpot. So with these, we want to make sure, guys, that you're betting on anytime touchdown scores. If it's the first or last touchdown score, you're going to get a boatload of bonus bet money from FanDuel. Guys, you don't have to wager. All you have to do is bet $5. Okay, it's not like the more that you wager and if you hit, you get paid out more bonus bets. Everyone gets paid out the same. I found this out from someone who DM'd me who actually won on the Miami-Buffalo Thursday night game a few weeks ago. They told me they had Ollie Gordon, and you don't get paid any extra money if you wager more money. So I'm just looking here for FanDuel to see if they pop up as a bright green. I'm just scrolling through the Steelers game, and we're seeing who we have. This is a great opportunity for me with the Steelers. Guys like Jonnu Smith would be one. I was just going to say the Steelers it's not always going to be a Jalen Warren or DK Metcalf. They love to use their tight ends, Darnell Washington, Jonnu Smith, even maybe the Muth. This would probably be my play right now in Jonnu for anytime touchdown score. If he scores the first or last touchdown, then we're getting paid. P. Ryan, Scotty Miller. Okay, Scotty Miller's it's okay. I'm going to go with Jonnu Smith as my guy. And not because it's the Steelers, it's just because it's one of the better plays out there. So we're going to come down here to touchdown scores and make sure you focus on the left-hand column, guys, this any. And we're going to go with this. And then make sure the touchdown jackpot, minimum $5 wager. That's all I'm going to wager, guys, is $5. And we're going to be eligible for this. Okay? So there it is. Jonnu Smith, anytime touchdown. That's going to be how we're going to play our jackpot. So let me throw this in on the bet tracker over here. Where you at, bro? Where you at? There it is. Okay. So let's go up to Jonnu. This is not bad in terms of an actual just EV bet. It's probably not super EV. 309, 432. If we come back up here to the top, guys, show no vig odds. Yeah, it's slightly negative EV to Pinnacle. 332 is the play, but I'm in on this one in general. I just like it for my $5 jackpot. I'm not going to wager anything more than this. Slightly negative EV to Pinnacle, but I'm still okay with it because FanDuel in general. Last year, FanDuel had a ton of opportunities when it came to anytime touchdown scores. This year, it's really been ESPN Bet and DraftKings. Last year, DraftKings was not good in terms of just value betting anytime touchdown scores. Let's kind of focus a little first, guys, on the NHL. Let's look at some anytime goal scores right now. I've been very hot betting NHL to start the season. Set up here, minus 150, plus 250. Their reasoning behind why I go up to plus 250 to give you another little nugget when it comes to coaching and what I talk about. If we go beyond plus 250 odds, guys, this is when you start to go and you'll find maybe second or third or fourth liners. I'm interested in betting the first and maybe second line guys guys that are going to be on getting first power play units that are going to be playing a lot more forwards or defensemen, the top D men. That's why I only go to plus 250 because I want some of the best goal scorers out there because they're going to be getting first power play minutes. They're going to be getting a lot more minutes than maybe the fourth line guys or third line guys. So this is why I focus on this odds range in particular. We're using additive. We're using Pinnacle as our sharp, and it's just NHL, and it's for today. So I am now limited on MGM, so this isn't really worth my time. I'll try to get down whatever I can. Arturi Lehkonen, Avalanche, Blue Jackets. I'll log in over to MGM and just get down whatever they'll let me wager. Actually, maybe I'll go over to FanDuel instead because I can't get as good of a price, but it's still EVs. You can see over here on FanDuel, it's at plus 220, guys. This is actually the same. So this should be pulled up here with FanDuel. It's very good to Pinnacle. So we're going to grab this Lehkonen play right now. And then I'm also going to grab Pavel. Been betting on him quite a bit with the Avalanche. Remember, guys, these are kind of long shot plays. So, all right, 1-0 game. Jacob, their young stud, Mizar, however you say his last name, he got the job done. Lehkonen at plus 220. OGM's telling me to bet $90. I'm just going to round up to 100. So there we go. We're in on Lehkonen. And then same thing with Pavel over here. Pavel D with Vegas. Taking on Boston at home. We'll look for anytime goal scorers. And he's at 170. Again, this is an over 3% edge here, guys. So I'm just going to quickly throw this in here. Say I got this at FanDuel for $100. And then over here on Pavel. This looks to be very good play over here. 130, they're telling me. Okay. And that's because we're betting plus 170 instead of plus what was it, 220? So we have a higher win probability here. So we got Pavel, anytime goal scorer. And this counts in overtime too, guys, if they pot one in overtime. So there we go. Win for 130 on Pavel. Normally, I like to go after plays that are at least 3% EV edge or higher. You want to take Natchez over here on DraftKings or Fanatics. Anything above plus 190 odds, I would go after. This is plus 200. We also got a Cole Caulfield play over here. I also might dip my toes in a Nylander because I just love Willie Nyes, man. Boy can put him away. Caulfield over here on FanDuel or MGM. So we'll grab this Nashville, Montreal. Cole Caulfield, we'll put 90 on him. That's fine. Anytime goal scorers, bingo. So $90 here to pay out 153. Nice. You can see, guys, we can just rip through these. Once you have your filters set up, you just rip through these plays. 3-team parlay on Sunday night. Nice to hear that, ATM. Yeah, Xavier, you can. You definitely can. And so what I would mention here is, I have some different packages for one-on-one coaching. Steven is one of the guys that worked with me one-on-one. We spoke on Tuesday, had a great call. He's someone that can attest to if it was worth your time and your money. I think it definitely is. We got to log in over here on DraftKings and grab this Natchez play. But you can't work with me one-on-one. I have various different packages. I have a one-hour session. I have 3 sessions that are 75 minutes each session. And then I offer 7 sessions at 75 minutes each session. You can book those whenever you want. I prefer that you book them at least 3 weeks or a month in between one another so that we have time to kind of give you some homework. You can kind of work on it, and then we come back and talk about it. But you can definitely do that. And so as I log in over here on DraftKings, I'll make sure to throw those links for you guys as well. Outside of just the group classes, there is just some basic classes as well. ATM, how many bets do I place to be profitable? As many as you can. There isn't really a number. You really want to be averaging at least 15 to 20 bets a day, if not more. The more, the merrier. It's going to lower your variance. So these are different links, guys, to different courses that you can learn on the insights with if you want to book with coaching calls. They're out there as well. So, but really the more the merrier when it comes to betting with an edge. You want to bet as many as you can. Obviously, I don't want you to have to cancel on your friends and family for dinner events or just hangout time, right? Make sure you can fit this into your schedule. I'm a big believer in balance, making sure that you can find balance where you enjoy this, but it doesn't take over your life. You don't want that to happen. So let me throw this up here. Let's look at this Natchez play. 200. Again, guys, you can grab this over at Fanatics if you want. Let's go to NHL. And this is with Colorado. So we got a couple different Colorado dudes. Goal scores, Natchez. And we're being recommended about what? $80? Okay, $80. All right, there it is. $80 on Netchus. There we go. So we're in there. And that's pretty much where I'll stop it, guys, for the most part. Anything that's over 3%. Again, Willie Nylander's kind of dropped down, so I'm not going to go after that. The 2% plays are okay, but I would just prefer to go after anything that's 3% or higher, and then we just kind of move along. Let's take a look at some odds for baseball, and then we'll mix in football as well. So let's grab some baseball. Let's grab some football. Let's look at some player props for today. We'll keep this. We'll go a minus 200 to a 150. And we'll use Pinnacle as the DVIG. We'll use worst case. And let's jump in here. DK Metcalf, anytime touchdown. Oh, you know I want it, baby. You know I want it. Let's go. Hurry up. He scored in like 4 straight games. Doesn't mean he's going to score in his 5th straight game. It doesn't mean that. Again, if I talk about bad about trends against, I'm not going to talk for it, but this is an incredible price. Pinnacle's taking $1,000 right now. Let's look at this line movement here. Holy shit. This is what we're talking about, guys. Look at this movement from Pinnacle. This is in one specific direction over the last, 3 hours or so. What I will say, if you can't get this over at ESPN Bet, FanDuel's just fine. Here's a little bit of a tip, guys. If you're like me, ESPN Bet's like a onesie type of book, right? Once you get limited by ESPN Bet, there's no other sports books that are going to offer what ESPN Bet does. So I would be willing to go over to FanDuel or BetMGM, right? And FanDuel would be the book that I'd rather go over and bet this. It's just under a 3% edge, but I'm okay sacrificing some EV here because I know if I get limited on FanDuel, big whoop. FanDuel is one of the few sports books that I can use after I get limited. Anyone that knows anything about sports betting knows that FanDuel is very kind to us sports bettors. So instead of me going after this on ESPN Bet, which is fine, I don't want to get limited right away. So I'm just going to kind of come over here and bet this over on FanDuel, right? Obviously, the best play is going over to ESPN and betting this, but I'm fine with getting Metcalf. And so it's not going to be a 170 bet, but I'll go in for a 125. If you want to put your boost on this, guys, I would recommend this as well. So maybe what I do here is I'd go DK, and I'd look to maybe make a little bit of a long shot parlay when it comes to this. So we're going to grab this over at FanDuel at 145 for $125. There we go. So again, just some different tips that you guys can think about. I know if I can ever get a bet down at FanDuel, I will always choose FanDuel because even when FanDuel limits me, who cares? I can still get solid money down on that book, right? English might be poor, but hopefully you guys understand. Things kind of work that way. That's how I kind of focus on it. Ray Filters, Nishiro. Yeah, I mean, Nishiro, were you able? I want to make sure I can go back to you, brother. Were you able to see? Were you able to see the anytime goal scorer setup? It's a minus 150 to plus 250 setup. Make sure that you use additive and use Pinnacle as your sharp sports book. Glass. Now we got is it a runner at third? Yeah, we got a tie game here. Tie game. So we're going to look to place some bets now. This is a tie game between the Brewers and the Dodgers. We can look to grab some live bets here in just a second. This play over here on Bookmaker. Wow. Okay, so Pinnacle was at minus 146. They went to minus 120. Again, that's a serious movement in one direction. So the over 4.5 hits. This is, again, a big movement by Pinnacle, guys, within the last hour. You can see this bottom purple line. So I'll go over to Bookmaker and place this any day. Like, Bookmaker can get some action from me. I can't show you guys actually me placing the wager because it's a global sports book. Can't really promote that. But, again, no problem. Ooh, I only got dang, that stinks. I only got $40 on this account right now because I got a bunch of other money tied up for bets on Saturday, which is definitely a football issue. That happens sometimes when you're betting football on the weekends and it's a Thursday. I got a lot of money tied up over there already. If you guys are finding any of this information insightful, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a lot. And share this with any of your friends that maybe you're struggling as sports bettors. Would definitely help get them on the right path for profitability. So I can only put $40 down because that's all I have left in Bookmaker, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is. We'll grab that on Castillo. What else do we have? If you guys can find another play in this SGP for the Steeler game, we might be able to find there's a 30% profit boost. I'm fine with, having him on both. Darnell Washington under on receptions. Let's take a look at this. Let's look at the under first. What are we looking at here? Kind of a difference of opinion between all the books. Pinnacle is very bullish on this minus 121. Okay. Do we have anything else for FanDuel? Not really. Anything else for ESPN bet? Not really. What about the Scherzer play really quick? I'm just curious on this. Scherzer, under 3.5 hits allowed. Ooh, yeah, we like the Scherzer play. This is Props Builder, guys. Rebet Props Builder or Bet Online, Bovada, Bet DSI, Bet Any Sports. Same thing. Okay. So if you guys wanted to rock this, here's what I would do for the FanDuel boost. The Darnell Washington plays okay. You can go receiving props. You can go player total receptions. Come down here to Darnell, right? Throw this on DK and Darnell. Throw the boost on it. What's the max wager? $10. All right, now you can turn your $10 into $42, right? Little two-leg parlay here. DK anytime touchdown, Darnell Washington under 2.5, right? If you guys want to know then how would we throw this in? How would we throw this into the parlay tracker? Come down here to Darnell. Click this little dollar sign right here. Come back up to DK. Click this over sign. Come up here to the top right-hand corner that you can't see because my head's blocking in the way. Just missed the play that happened there in the Dodger game. Looks like they made it through the guy out at the plate. Yeah. And then you just click the little plus sign right here, right? We should be getting odds of plus 385. We know that we're getting a boost. So we're getting this at what? Plus 421. And then all you have to do on the bet tracker is come over here. Click on bet tracker up here at the top. Over here, click the little pencil, odds boost, and we're getting this at 421. And there we go. There's our little two-leg parlay here with Washington and Metcalf. That's how we would do it. All right, let me log into, let's go to Bet Online. That'll be one of the props builders that I use. I really like this Max Scherzer under 3.5 hits allowed. Again, it's under a 3% EV edge, but I'm a fan of it. Looks like the Dodgers get out of the inning. We're going to the bottom of the second, 1-1 ball game. And we're looking at MLB. We're going to go to over-unders over here, guys. We're going to go to hits allowed. Scherzer's at a minus 135. And I'm going to go ahead and just put this for a 150 spot. Like the movement, though, from Pinnacle there. There we go. SEC. Yes. Yes, you can use Bovada. And in coaching, I can also explain to you how you can use Bovada even if you live in a restricted state. So even if you're like, hey, man, I can't use Bovada where I live. Yeah, you can. I'll show you how. So, yes, I use Bovada. Just got limited again today because I hit on a Ryan Donato over 1.5 shots on goal last night, and they sent me another message saying I got limited. So there's still utility with your Bovada account, guys. Remember, Bovada has Props Builder. So if you get limited on Bovada, you can still go over and use Props Builder. And it's a separate entity, so you're not going to have the same limits on Props Builder as you have on Bovada. You'll be totally fine. So there's still utility with that account, even if you get limited on Bovada. All right, so we're in on Scherzer. What else do we got? I want to make sure I go back over, too, for some DFS to show anyone over there. If you guys use Parlay Play, obviously Scherzer over 3.5 strikeouts would be a play we can go after. Kenneth Gainwell, Kenny G. This is almost almost a low hold to Pinnacle. I'm limited on Fanatics, guys, but I'll still go over to Fanatics on this phone. Obviously, you guys know they don't have a desktop website. I'll go ahead and place this bet for over 19.5 receiving yards. And I might still be able to get like $20, $25 down on this play. That's worth it to me, guys. If I can still bet $20, $25 on some of these player props, I'll go after this all day long. All day long. So, Kenny, where's Kenny at? Looking at receiving yards. They have his line at 15.5. So we'll just go down to receiving yards, and then you'll just expand this all. Kenny to get 20 plus, which is over 19.5 at plus 110 odds. What's the max wager size here? So I can bet $18.18. So I'll just take this for $18, which again would pay me almost $20 in profit, which I think is still worth it because that would pay for Chipotle. So there we go. Kenny G. It dropped down here, but I still like it. What else we have? Joe Flacco over on his passing completions. If you believe in a game script where the Steelers are going to be in the lead and the Bengals are going to have to come back and throw the ball a lot, or the Steelers are just shutting down the Bengals running game and they have to throw the ball a lot, then this would be a play that I would go after. Again, though, if you have Ballybet and you're nervous about getting limited, then in my opinion, it's still okay maybe to go over to a FanDuel. I'd rather play this at Bookmaker instead because I have an account with Bookmaker and it's 1 cent off. It's not that big of a deal. But let's take a look at this over. Yeah, I mean, there's some movement from Pinnacle. It's not as extreme as we saw before. Bookmaker did have some extreme movement, but they've now bounced back to where they were. They were at minus 125. They dropped down to minus 144. They've retreated back to minus 125. But again, in my opinion, guys, when you see Ballybet, which in my opinion is a really easy sports book, and you see Ballybet has the same odds as Bookmaker, that doesn't really scare me, right? So I'm out of money on Bookmaker. So I have to go over to Ballybet to play this, which is fine. It is what it is. OddsJam's recommending $180. I might take a little bit less, wager a little less here. Might go like with a 150 spot. But we're going to go with Flacco over 22.5 passing completions. And then we're going to set up the live tool right now and look for some live betting opportunities for this baseball game. We definitely want to look at that. Okay, so Flacco over on his passing completions. Minus 124 odds. You go to player passing. And then we're looking for, these are yards, touchdowns. The over-under here. So this is what? The over 22.5. Double check this. Yep, looks good. Minus 124. Can I go in for a 150 spot? I can. That's awesome. And again, guys, this game starts in like an hour and a half, so I don't mind placing a bet there on Flacco. Now, where I live in Arizona, I have 3 different Canby sports books. I have Ballybet, Bet Rivers, and Desert Diamond. So I'm not nervous if I get limited by Ballybet because I'll still have a couple other sports books that offer the same odds. So that's another thing you can think about if you're worried about account health. You know, if you have Ballybet and you have a Bet Rivers, it's okay if you get burned by one of them because, you know, don't skip out on this play because you're worried about getting limited. Go make your money and then deal with the limits later, right? Let's throw this on to Major League Baseball right now. So here's my setup for MLB. Pinnacle, worst case, we're going to pretty much keep the odds the same, except I'm going to go 3% minimum EV edge, and we're just going to make sure that we just select MLB. Garrett, have I went over my SOG strategy? Not yet. It's pretty much the same as anytime shots on goal, using Pinnacle as a sharp, and looking for movement from Pinnacle. While Pinnacle doesn't take a lot of money on their player prop, their shots on goals, I still have enough historical data over the last 3-4 hockey seasons that I believe Pinnacle's quite sharp when it comes to this. We're going to use mainline markets. So it's pretty much a similar strategy here, right? Pinnacle, worst case, keep the odds range the same. If you don't have to bet plus 150. If you want to change this to plus 125, you could do that. If you don't want to bet minus 200s, you want to set this to like minus 150 to plus 125, you could do that. No problem at all. And then let's make sure for our books, guys. The only thing I want to make sure that we do is we'll look for AZ books, no Onyx. Okay, I don't want Onyx. I don't want PrizePicks or Rebet, Thrills, Underdog, Sport Trade, Rebet. I don't have accounts with these guys or Polymarket. And then I only need one of these, right? So we'll just focus on Ballybet because I have some money over there. And then let's do that, right? Let's show the results. Let's hit play and make sure that I set the right league because I didn't. There we go. And now we're just chilling, right? We're chilling on the EV page waiting for anything that's 3% or over. Now there's 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Andy Pages is up. So we might find some opportunities if this changes. If you guys want another market to wager on, what I would say for markets, for alternate markets, I would do something like, I think it's first. It's this way. First half run line. I like the first half run line. I like first half total runs as well. And that's what I would do. Or first half money line. For baseball, the first 5 innings, right? I'm definitely in on that. No, Jack. If you get limited on props builder and Bravado, do you also get limited on other prop builders? No, because all those props builders are different sports books, right? BetOnline, BetDSI, XBet, MyBookie, they're all different books. So while they all employ the same props builder, they're all different books, so you have different limits with all those. So just because you get maybe limited on one doesn't mean the other as well. It's a good question, though. Usually got to end up betting them all on 3 Canby books. I'm limited on all. Anton, I know that pain, man. Yeah, once you're limited on all 3 Canby books, you log into all 3 and you just bet the max that you can for all of them. Churio is battling the sun there. Sun could become a factor here. Also, we got the shadows coming in right now, which the pitcher's in the sunshine while the batter's in the shade. That's advantage pitcher, no doubt about that. So it would be advantage unders. Am I doing this? Oh, wait a minute. That's because I'm on pre-match. I apologize, guys. Apologize. We've been looking at nothing for a minute. Make sure I just have everything set up correctly here. MLB. Yeah. Cool. In-game status, guys. You can, again, set this to stoppage. I'm just going to set this to live. The under. FanDuel. Ooh, we got to go. We got to go. Where you at, bro? Where you at? Nope. We can't do that because I got it. Okay. I'm just over here on the game in general. This might have already left. We'll see. Probably did. Still there. I only have $149, guys. So we're going to go a 140 spot. Under 4.5 plus 102 odds. Bingo. Got that. Dodgers under 4.5. Big fan of that. It's an arb to Pinnacle. It's a legit arb to Pinnacle. Pinnacle had the over plus 105. The under's at plus 102. There's a runner on second, 2 outs. As you can see, this is plus 128, plus 102. This is an arb, guys. I could literally, if I had a Pinnacle account, I could arb this over at Pinnacle. FanDuel just moved this to minus 130. This is the nature of live betting. It's very fast. It's very furious. We'll change this to plus 102 for $140. And there we go. So we get the under 4.5. Naturally, if, in the top of the third, the Brewers put up a 3 spot, then obviously it loses. There's nothing that we can really do, but that's because Ohtani just grounded out, so we gained some value there. Now, another thing that we could think about here, guys, okay? We could look to hedge this, okay? Something else. We just bet this at plus 102. Open up an arbitrage calculator, right? This is the beauty of live betting. So we could say, okay, listen, we got plus 102 odds for $140, right? So what do we have out there? Well, we could bet this over right now, plus 105 on BetOnline. We can go to DraftKings and bet this for 110. I can get this at 110. I could make about $8 profit no matter what happens right now, right? 3% arb, not all that good. But if we wait in the third inning, and if the Dodgers can put up 1 or 2 or 3 outs, or we can get through the top of the third without giving up any runs, then this arb is only going to get better. Okay, now this is a bit of a risk, but right now we made an excellent decision betting the under 4.5 at plus 102 odds on FanDuel. I'm actually now only have like $9 left in FanDuel, right? If we come over here to FanDuel, you can see that they're only offering us out about a $6 cash out, right? $6. It's okay, right? But I could go over and arb this and at least make a little bit more. So I don't want to take the cash out. In general, guys, don't take cash outs. They're terrible pricing, right? Jordan, can I look at an Onyx boost? Yeah, we can look at Onyx for pregame. I wouldn't use Onyx for live. So we could bet this now again over at Hard Rock. I'm not going to double dip, guys. I'm very happy with my position. And I'm just going to let this ride, right? We're going to let it go. See what happens. But if we get later into this game, right, we only have to make it to the end of the 5th inning. Once the end of the 5th inning's over, we cash. So if we can get later into this and get to like the 4th inning, then the arb is only going to get better. Instead of me making $8, I might be able to make like $40 or $50 guaranteed. So just kind of chill for the moment. Over here on BetMGM, we could bet the Dodgers first half money line, meaning we want the Dodgers to be in the lead after 5. We can give up 2 more runs and still cash both bets, or we can pause this. Or if the score's tied after the 5th, if it's 1-1, then this is just a refund. We get our money refunded to us. You can see once you click on a bet, guys, this automatically starts a 3-second refresher. OddsGM checks the odds to make sure it's legit. Do not trust Onyx here. This is not real odds on Onyx. This is the odds. They copy DraftKings. They're very slow, but that's what it is. And also, Jordan, can you tell me, are you looking for a specific boost? Is it an SGP boost for baseball or for the NFL, NHL, college football? Let me know in general, my friend. Appreciate that, ATM. Appreciate that. Yeah, first five. First five, we're looking all right. So, again, it's in the stoppage, but it's going to be coming back. We could obviously arb this over at FanDuel. We're not going to do that. But Pinnacle's very bullish. So we have an arb on our hands between those two. I'm just going to chill, see what happens there. If we want to go over to Onyx, guys, just to see some pregame bets, let's come over to pregame and see what we got going on here. NFL Boost. Okay, so I'm guessing it's an SGP that probably has to be at least 3 legs. What do we got here? Let's clear this out. Let's set this to like 200. No minimum percentage. DVIG. League is going to be football. Again, if you guys are just trickling in, a couple announcements that I made that were bigger announcements early on is there's now group class sessions opened up. I apologize for those of you that have been here since the beginning, but there's group classes now open up, guys. The first call is on October 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have 1 call every other 2 weeks for 3 months, 6 calls in general in total. And it's going to be a group class session where we kind of walk through. You have some time with me one-on-one, but we talk about my process in sharp sports betting. I can talk about things that I can't talk about on the stream and on YouTube videos that we can really get you set up at the front of the line so that you don't have to figure out for yourself how to use the EV tool. If you use a different software, the same rules and principles are going to apply. Again, that link is in the chat here if you guys want to check that out. First class is going to be Wednesday, October 29th. It's going to be every Wednesday, every other 2 weeks. We will be bypassing 1 or 2 Wednesdays because of holidays. So it might be extended a little bit longer, but there's 6 classes in total. You guys can check that out. I also provided other links if you just want to work with me one-on-one with coaching. So for our SGP boost on Onyx, Freiermuth, cool. Metcalf, anytime touchdown. Again, it's a lower percentage odds play, but what you have to understand with these SGP boosts, we have to be able to survive the correlation from these books. They're going to give you these boosts, and they're going to advertise like they're really good, but they're dog shit. They're dog shit typically because the boost cannot overcome the correlation. Now, we only have 2 plays here. So, again, you add both of these plays. OddsGM's telling us we should be getting odds of plus 349. So, just as a curious cat, I come over here to Onyx, and I'm going to throw this up on my phone. And we're just going to kind of take a look at this. I'm just going to log in on mine, and let's see what we got. Looks like they got an app now, which that's cool. They got a 25% parlay boost. Looks like on my parlay boost, I don't have to make an SGP, which would be even better. If I don't have to make an SGP, I really like it. I'm trying to find out. Let me just see here. If I just grab 3 random legs here. Yeah. Just a regular. You could do a traditional parlay here, guys. So I really like that. Honestly, with Freiermuth, it's okay. They obviously just moved these odds, so this play's dead. What a surprise. DK Metcalf would be the touchdown play. These are, this is a lower EV edge play. But again, because you can play a traditional parlay here, guys, I would just expand this to the next 7 days. And what do we have? Dylan Gabriel over on his rushing yards. I like this. We talked about the weather in Cleveland. It's going to suck. Cowboys plus 2.5. I don't really like that spread, but we can just create a 3-leg parlay for right here, guys. We can go through some different plays. So I'll grab Gabriel over on his rushing yards. And you're going to get a 25% boost. So over 4.5 minus 119. Cool. So I'll just grab this here. This is very good to Pinnacle. It's not bad at all. I like that. Cowboys at plus 2.5. This is a key number that I don't really like. I'm obviously on this over. That looks decent. We talked about that yesterday. Theo Johnson in the Giants-Broncos game at plus 116. Don't mind Theo Johnson over 3.5 catches. So I like the Theo Johnson play. So I'm just coming down here to receptions. And what do we got here? Okay, I'm in on Theo. So we'll grab the plus sign here. Come up here to the top. I'll just remove some of these other ones. This is how you make a plus EV. I mean, the Cowboys play it's a good price. I don't like the plus 2.5, but I'll take it. If you guys want to go with something other than plus 2.5, I understand that. That's no problem. Let's see if it's still there. Yeah, plus 2.5. Okay, so we grab this Cowboys play. So now I'm going to get a 25% boost. So this play on its own should be plus 652 odds, which it is because it's a traditional parlay. We get this now up to plus 815. What's the max wager size on this? $40? Dude, I'll take this all day long. Now, if you guys want to figure out how much of your bankroll you should put on this, here's what we do. Okay? Here's how we do this. I love when my streams go past an hour. It's just there's so much to get into. You take the fair win percentage, 56.5, times this by 0.535. Remember, we need all three legs to hit, so we need to multiply all three legs together. So our fair win probability is 14.18. So we come over to a Kelly criterion calculator, and I say, listen, Kelly, here's the situation. I got 0.025, right? I'm getting odds of plus 815 with my boost, and I have a 14.18 fair percent chance. They're going to say, yo, this is almost 30% EV edge. I should put $182 on this. So guess what? I'm putting $40 on this play. No doubt about that. And that is how I am placing my boost. And just for you guys that are new out there, you know, and you're like, yeah, Billy, you said you're going to put your boost on this play, but I don't know, dude. Like a lot of people say they're going to bet things, but then they don't show it. Something that I try to explain with a lot of people here on these streams. I actually put my money where my mouth is, and I actually place these bets. I just don't tell you to bet something, okay? So much so on live. Here it is. Here's the slip. I just literally put it together, 4:02 p.m. Pacific time. That's how I'm using my 3-pick entry, $40, okay? So there it is. Then this is how you can figure out based on your bankroll, is it actually a good play? Then you just come down here, put this to 40, click plus, and then we're going to go back over to the bet tracker and then just adjust the odds, okay? So a lot of guys, you're going to watch YouTube videos and they're going to tell you, hey, man, I make money sports betting. Well, if you watch my streams, you can actually watch me place these bets and you can kind of find out for yourself who's real and who's not. And that's why I love Alex, because he's a real dude. He actually places his bets in front of you. Well, unlike some other people that say they place bets and make money, but then they never actually place their bets live. They just tell you they do. All right, guys. So let me finish up here with DFS. For those of you that are still stuck around waiting to see if there's underdog plays, PrizePicks plays, here we go. This is a 6-pick entry over here on underdog. Well, I appreciate that, Xavier. I really appreciate that. I try to explain it and provide different examples to hopefully break through to you guys. You know, sometimes I know what it's like. You know, all of a sudden somebody says it, gives you one example, and then the flip switches, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? And that's kind of what I aim to do, is try to break down, you know, in layman's terms, just how you can understand how to make money profitable sports betting. You hear some fancy terms sometimes with gambling, VIG and juice, and it's really just a tax, right? VIG is just a tax that these sports books put. Sports books don't charge you monthly subscription fees like Disney Plus or Hulu or Netflix. They just simply inflate their prices. Just like when you go to the grocery store and you buy an item at the grocery store, you subconsciously know that the grocery store has to make money off of each item that they sell. Every orange, banana, loaf of bread. So they inflate the price a little bit so that they can take care of their employees and pay the bills and the rent for the building and the lights, keep the lights on. It's the same thing with sports books. They inflate their prices. What you don't understand, though, what a lot of people don't understand, is on player props, compared to like a money line spread or total, the price is inflated a lot with player props. You know, mainline spreads and totals, it might be like 3 to like 7%. Player props, it could be like 15, 25%. It's insane. Mookie Betts takes a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but hits at the center. Under 4.5 first half total runs, guys, looks good. Bottom third, 1 out, we're looking really good. So again, we could come back to this. Let me give us some more plays out for underdog. We can come back to this if we want. ATM, can't really answer that one, man. It's above my pay grade. I don't know. I'm just a content creator that knows how to talk about the tools. I'm not an executive at the company, so you're asking the wrong guy. Appreciate the question, but you're just asking the wrong guy. You need to ask somebody in a suit, you know. And just because, you know, so that's how I would say it. That's how I'd preface it, right? But it's a good question. Just got to ask somebody else, and hopefully you can get an answer from them. But I do appreciate a lot of you guys asking me questions on that because a lot of you know that I will respond to you, whereas others will just ignore you. So I try to get back and respond to every single person that messages me, even if you're trying to tell me to sign up for some like crypto scheme. Been getting a lot of those recently. I don't know about you guys. Been getting a lot of crypto schemes and getting a lot of text from the so-called president for support. It's been weird. Underdog 3 pick. Again, some of these guys, this Hartenstein play or Hartenstein, however you say his last name, it's for Tuesday. So make sure you peep the time, peep the date. It's for Tuesday. I don't know. It was a good question about Yoshi Voss. George Kirby yesterday didn't get bumped at all with a lot of liquidity on him on the PrizePicks. Good to know. Okay. Ooh, Will Smith strikes out. So what we got? 2 outs in the third. It's under 4.5. It's looking tasty right now. Very tasty. Outside of underdog. For any of you guys who are like, yeah, Billy, cool. I don't care about underdog. Let's select everything but underdog. This is a rebet 6-pick entry. Again, if you're going after these 6-pick entry guys, this is Prop City. So you don't have to have rebet. You can use BetOnline or Bovada or BetDSI on their props builder. I would wager maybe 1/10 of a unit on these plays. Just a little sprinkle. These are long shots. These are 6-leg parlays. So just keep that in mind. There's a very good chance here for the Brewers. Mizorowski, if I'm saying his name right. Good chance because he is a starter that if he keeps dealing like this, he could pitch for the next 3, 4, 5 innings easily. 0-2 count on Freddie Freeman. Yeah, that's a ball. That's a ball. 6-pick entry over here on PrizePicks. So remember, with 5 and 6-pick entries, guys, these are long shot underdogs. So just be careful. Be careful with them. Rebet Prop City and Rebet. Rebet Prop City is for their player props, and which is they outsource to Props Builder to get their player props odds. Rebet then creates their own in-house odds for money lines, totals, and spreads. So that's why Prop City they just pay Props Builder to get their odds. So some of these sports books don't want to have to create their own odds in-house. That's why they just source it. They source it to a third party called Props Builder. They used to. They used to. Not anymore because the sports books are crooks and they're designing a system for us to lose. It's like not enough. So yeah, you used to be able to bet singles over on Prop City. Then they changed their rules and that's why they suck. You could bet it. I mean, you could bet this 2-leg parlay right here. I would just play them as 2-leg parlays, right? You're going to see more variance, but you could do it. There we go. Strike 3. And we're through 3 innings, guys. So I got to take a quick little peek over here on the sportsbook screen and look at the Major League Baseball and look at the first half total runs. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, so right now, we got a pretty good situation on our hands. First half total runs, we bet the under 4.5. We could get plus odds on this over 3.5 right now. Or if we bet this over 4.5, we could probably receive incredible odds. But we could create a middle opportunity here, guys, where we get an ARB on the over and the under, and then we create a play where if there's 4 runs scored in the 5th inning, after these next 2 innings, 2.5 innings, I should say, we're going to make money no matter what happens. We're going to cash both sides of the bet. So we could also set this up, right? We don't have to go on the over 3.5 at plus 116 odds. We could try to take the over 4.5 and arb it. But if we hit this over 3.5, we create a middle opportunity. And this is how you take sports betting and turn it into sharp betting. So let me go over here and let me go to the tracker and let's go to the calculator. Okay. So we talked about this arbitrage calculator earlier. So we got a 102 spot here at $140. I could go over to Caesars and bet $130 here and make some money no matter what happens. So if I hurry up, because I got to hurry up, because even though I'm watching TV right now, I know that the game's a little bit ahead, but we can create a middle opportunity. And this is the best part about it. Things work in our favor here, guys, right? But I'm not going to rely on that the next 2.5 innings, this is going to actually still stay the case. So here's how we can ensure that we make money no matter what happens. Over here on this game, we're going to come over here to this game right here, Brewers-Dodgers. We're going to race over to innings, and we're going to look to bet this over 3.5. I am going to put a $130 wager over here, right? 130. 130. Bang. Bang, 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 bang. Okay. So here's what just happened. We just bet the over 3.5 at plus 116 odds for $130. We got the under 4.5 at plus 102 odds for $140. So if the score remains 1-1 after 5 innings, then I just make almost $12. If they score 5 runs or more after the 5th inning, then I make $11. But if these two teams combine to score 4 runs exactly, I cash my over 3.5. Cash my over 3.5, and I'll cash my under 4.5. I just created an arbitrage middle opportunity between these two books. Now I'm just rooting for 4 runs, right? That's what I'm really rooting for. But I know if it doesn't hit, I'm going to make money. And there we go. That's how we do it. So we'll come back over here to the sportsbook screen, and I'll just throw this in over on Caesars for this money right here. And that's where we're going to end the stream, guys. I'll be on tomorrow. We're going to do a tomorrow evening stream, so it'll be 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Maybe we'll do a stream in the middle of the day. Haven't quite made my mind up yet, but I'm going to be up, obviously, watching the Steeler game tonight. So very excited about that. And we're just going to grab this right here and say 130. Bingo. There we go. Tracked in my bet tracker. Everything's tracked in one convenient location here, guys. You can see the over 3.5, the under 4.5. I got to delete this because I accidentally bet it twice. But there it is, guys. And that's the stream. Again, check out the links. Have questions, email me, DM me. Otherwise, guys, have a fantastic Thursday, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.